This video will take you through the graphs of inverse trig functions, as well as looking at the domain and the range of these functions. So we'll look at the first inverse function, which would be y equals the sine inverse of x. So that to draw this graph, we need to look at y equals sine x. Y equals sine x looks like so if we go from 0 to 2 pi. It also goes on in the negative direction and on. However, we're not going to look at all of the graph. Why? Well, if we're going to look at functions, functions are only functions. They're defined as functions if they are one-to-one. So this graph here is not a one-to-one function. We can make it one-to-one by restricting the domain. To do that, we want to make the domain as large as possible. So when we get from 0 to pi over 2, that's 1-to-1. For every x value, there's only one y value. But once we get past pi over 2, it starts repeating itself. So this bit would have to be discarded. Because it's not 1-to-1 for all of that. However, I could go backwards into the negative direction and draw the graph to negative pi over 2, because it's 1-to-1 still there. There's no overlapping there, and for every x value there's only one corresponding y value and vice versa. Should make a note as well then that maximum value is 1 and minimum value is -1. So that is our domain. So domain, this is for y equals sine x, by the way. So we restrict the original function. Domain, x is an element of the rails, x is between pi over 2. Sorry, I'm really struggling with this pen. Pi over 2 and minus pi over 2. The range, the f of x, your y, is between 1 and -1. And just if you remember, if you're doing the inverse function, the domain becomes your range and the range becomes the domain. Because if in the original function, if you put in pi over 2 and get 1 out, the inverse function gets the input 1 and the output goes back to pi over 2. So when we're trying to draw y equals sine inverse x, the domain will be x is an element of the rails, but x is between 1 and -1. So that was the range of sine x. And when you put those values into the inverse, what you'll get out, your range, will be the original values, the domain of sine x. So that would be that f of x is between pi over 2 and minus pi over 2. So if we're to draw this, the inverse function is a reflection in the line y equals x. So that point, should say that again. The inverse function is a reflection in the line y equals x. So the point we have here, pi over 2, 1, would then, it would be reflected in the line. Now it's hard to draw a good line y equals x because the scales are different. So what I'm simply going to do, when you reflect something in the line y equals x, the y value becomes the x value and the x value becomes the y value. The x and y are interchanged. So we would end up with 1 and pi over 2. And equally in this one here, down here, we would end up with -1 and minus pi over 2. And we get shape looking like so. How did I know that? Well, I'm trying to reflect, roughly speaking, reflecting that. However, it's not a nice line y, that's not the line y equals x, because y equals x goes through 1, 1. So that's not strictly true, but that's just to give you an idea. When you reflect it, that's the shape you get. So this here graph here is the graph of y equals sine inverse x. And that was created from the graph of y equals sine x, where that function was restricted so that it had an inverse, because an inverse only exists if the original function is 1 to 1. And then you can see the domain, what values go in. X is between 1 and -1, and the range, what values can come out, between pi over 2 and minus pi over 2. Okay, let's look at then cos inverse x. So if we draw y equals cos x first of all, so y equals cos x looks like so. Pi over 2, pi, 3 pi over 2, and 2 pi. Now again, that function is not 1 to 1, so it'll not have an inverse unless we restrict the domain. So we have to restrict the domain by removing any values where it starts to repeat, which is after pi. That starts to repeat, so we can scrub it out. We cannot go to this side and continue onwards because they'll give you 2x values for one y value. It'll not be 1 to 1 there either. So there is our restricted domain. So y equals cos x. The domain, what values can go in? It has to be x between pi and 0. What values can go out? F of x, your range. You can see f of x goes up as high as 1 and -1. Should have marked that on already. So 1 and -1. If we then want to draw the inverse function, y equals cos inverse of x, then what values you get out, your range, will be the values you're going to put back in again to the inverse function. So your domain is the range of cos x, so between 1 and -1. They're the values that can go into cos inverse x. If you put those values in, you will get out the domain of cos x. You'll get that f of x is an element of the reals. I should have said x is an element of the reals for the first part. F of x is an element of the reals. It's going to be between pi and 0. So if we're drawing it, then we know that the domain is going to be between 1 and -1, and the range is going to go 0 up as far as pi. So again, it's only rough to sketch. We're reflecting it in that line. So this bit here would then come down like so. It does sort of reflect. This bit here then is going to go way up there. So that's a bit of a mess. But what should I say? 0, 1 reflects to become 1, 0. So there. And then remember we're interchanging the y and the x value. Pi over 2, 0 will become 0 pi over 2. And this point here, pi -1 would become -1 pi. And again, to get that shape, it's going to go like so. By trying to reflect that, should have rubbed out that line. Didn't do that. Okay. So that's the line y equals cos inverse x. And finally, if we look at tan inverse x, we need to draw the graph of y equals tan x first of all. So what does that look like? Tan x graph has asymptotes, so it will look like so. And then it repeats, but when it repeats, it becomes not one-to-one. So we need to make it a one-to-one function, so anything repeating, we'll have to get rid of. So where are those asymptotes at? The asymptotes are at minus pi over 2 and pi over 2. So the domain of tan x. What values can go into the tan x function? For the restricted domain, x can be any value as long as x is between pi over 2, and you can't put in pi over 2, it's undefined, and minus pi over 2. So not equal to. The range then, what values can go out for this function? Any value. The graph goes up to infinity and down to infinity. Any y value, there'll be an x value for it. Let's look then at the inverse function. Remember, for inverse functions, the domain and the range are interchanged. So the domain is now going to be that x can be any value, and the range, you'll only be able to get out the values that were put into the original function, which was between pi over 2 and minus pi over 2. So for drawing this, what will that look like? Well, remember, we're interchanging the y and the x, because we're going to reflect it along this line here. Try and make that. What's difficult is the scale. The y and the x is not a one-to-one scale, so it doesn't maybe look great. But this will start to curve to here, like so, and this one will curve like so. That's the general idea. Taking the key points, you've got pi over 2, 0. That will become 0 and pi over 2. Now, it's not actually a point, it's an asymptote. And here you've got minus pi over 2, 0. It would become 0 minus pi over 2, which is down here. Should label these pi over 2 and minus pi over 2. So there are your new asymptotes. If you can remember how I had that line reflected, the under bit now looks it over, so you get this shape. And that's y equals tan inverse x. I'll put in Google Classroom all of those nice and neat put together for your notes.